Sharing with you in this video how to stop making assumptions and seek clarification to create what you want faster. And the reason why I'm recording this video and why I believe that this video is going to be of the utmost importance for you to watch from start to finish is because what I really believe is that assuming as if you have what you want already is the case is a very good thing to do. Assuming that you have it already and acting as if it's good. But what can happen is that I'm also going to be sharing with you in this video an alternative perspective that perhaps nobody has ever shared with you before, which is that can lead to a lot of problems that can be avoided if you also stop assuming, and it can help you get what you want faster if you actually stop assuming so much. And so the first way that I find to do this and how to navigate this whole process in a much easier way is to understand that really acting on assumption can lead to challenges. And in my personal opinion, avoidable challenges, easily avoidable challenges. So think about it like this. Excuse me, if you're walking through life and you, instead of being curious about the truth, you walk around and you just assume you already know everything. Every interaction, you already know what's happening, you know the answer, and you already know what the person is thinking, you already know the truth, and there's no desire for you to just seek any kind of clarification on what the truth is. What's happening is that, do you see how you're always going to be limited? And if you assume that you already know everything about your life and that there's no area for you to improve and that the past is just the way that it is and you can't change your future, you're also going to be limited. So when we only attach to our minds and our limited sense of self, we're quite literally blocking ourselves to all the infinite possibility of abundance that exists within this present moment. And so the way to avoid, again, this problem is to stop immediately acting upon your assumptions. It's one thing to assume, we all have assumptions, we all have thoughts, can't control every single thought, understandable, but try your best not to act immediately upon those thoughts and those impulses. This is where we can build awareness. So when you have an impulse to do something or act upon something, just observe it. Observe the impulse. Don't identify with the impulse and then claim it to be that this is who you are, that I am this impulse. Don't become the emotional impulses in your life. Become the observing awareness presence, so to speak, for a lack of a better term, behind the emotional awareness, behind the emotional reaction, And what happens is that instead of acting immediately upon these problems, what you begin to do is you avoid these, in my personal opinion, easily avoidable situations that can just sort of fall away naturally. And so the second thing that I want to share with you in this video is really to understand that one of the key components here is going to be to ask for clarification and find the truth about the situation. So whether it's with the person, maybe it's not necessarily asking for clarification, it can be seeking for clarification or finding the truth. So remember that in any given situation, there's going to be multiple perspectives. There's going to be your perspective, there's going to be the other person's perspective, and then also there's going to be, in my personal opinion, which is, I think, goes far beyond opinion, but it is the actual truth between both perspectives. There's the perspectives that you have, there's the perspectives that they have, and then there's the actuality of what's happening between both of you, just the actual truth. And then the way to come to the truth is by honoring both perspectives. Both perspectives need to be heard and understood. So if one person believes that their perspective is more important than the other person's perspective, already that's going to be a failing interaction from the beginning. That's not going to be a foundation to have a successful interaction in whatever case, whatever kind of interaction it is, because if you're walking through life only with your assumptions, never seeking to find clarity, never seeking to find the truth, you are going to be blocking yourself from authentic connections in your life. So really the point in this video that I want to share with you here, and what I want to conclude with, is for you to understand that you can act as if. I invite and encourage you to act as if. I invite and encourage you to pretend to already have what you want before you do it. And then to, again, play the character that you need to play the role that you need to play to achieve the goal that you're looking for, and do that consciously. Don't be unconscious about it. Own it fully. Be responsible. Be accountable for the consequences as well. Do it all. Do it fully. But act as if only within reason. So really what I'm saying here is to, as well, while you're acting as if, still be reasonable, still be logical, still have respect, still have honor, and still have discipline. Because if we start to lose respect, honor, and discipline while we are acting as if, and then start to lose our common sense, what begins to happen is that you start to possibly disrespect the world, the external world. Because what's happening is that you have to start to remember that there's nothing you can really control in the external world other than your own internal state of being, your actions, and the way that you can't control people. You can influence people, through your state of being and through you maybe communicating and saying things, using your voice, but you cannot ultimately control anything in the external world. The outputs and then the way that stuff happens is up to the external world. It's not up to you, right? So really the point here is that if you're going to act as if you're going to walk through life and pretend to be some type of way that you're not, to then with the intention of achieving a goal, assume that you already are it, of course, but again, have that respect. Have that respect and honor in terms of the way that you show up and the way that you act in the world. Because it's not just going to be where you can just go around assuming that you have what you want, but then disrespect other people, and then dishonor people, and then dishonor the relationships in your life, and then dishonor the fact that maybe you need more money, or dishonor the fact that maybe you need to work a little bit harder on your business, or work a little bit harder on something, or communicate better, and take more accountability for your mistakes. All of this stuff can't just be kind of thrown away, and it still has to be looked at, taken. You have to audit this stuff. You have to look at this stuff, right? People want to act as if and pretend like they have what they want. They can spend multiple hours trying to attract something instead of just taking action towards doing whatever it is that you want to do, where you're going to get it like that. Instead of waiting for something to happen, I invite and encourage you to take proactive action where it actually ends up coming to you because you believe that you deserve it. A lot of times you'd be very surprised that if you take action on something and you actually get the result, of course your confidence is going to be better. Like, it just makes sense, right? If you take action on something and you're consistent every single day and you do it day in and day out, and you almost never do not follow through with who you say you're going to be, you start to sort of develop a sense of self-worthiness that comes from the actual actions that you took, and you become a person that has self-worthiness, has actual self-trust, because that self-trust is something you developed through consistent action. And that is just something that you were willing to do, even though maybe you didn't necessarily feel like it, but you did it anyways, and then that built up that character within you. Everybody, you don't need to be smarter to do this. You don't need to be more educated to do this. You don't need to have more information in your mind to do this. You have to have a stronger willingness to take action regardless of your internal state of being than everybody else. If you can do that, if you can just change your behaviors and manage your behaviors, no matter what internal negative resistances you might be feeling along your path, and not listen to those, what begins to happen is that you actually do become the person that you want to be. And you do it not by pretending to be something that you're not. Yes, you act as if, but then you do it within reason and within a space of reality and understanding how to honor where you're at, where your mistakes are, how other people see you, and then fix all of this through consciousness and awareness and conscious action while you go towards whatever it is that you want to create in